How blessed are we to be here? I'm so excited. I'm not someone who was supposed to be successful in life. Before I was with LegalShield, long before, I couldn't figure out high school, much less college and the rest of life. I was in high school for 6 years. I had 3 senior years. Now, about how many years should you be in high school, give or take? About, 4? So I had a freshman year, a sophomore year, a junior year, a senior year, a senior year, and a senior year. And when I finally did graduate, which was super cool. I'd like to relive that moment. Could y'all give me a hand, please? When I graduated, when I actually walked the stage, it was pandemonium. I mean, all my friends were there. All my friends from the 80s were there. All my friends from the 90s were there. And it was a big celebration, and I went on to college, and in college I was there for 5 years, and when I was done there, I was a sophomore. And so just things weren't looking very good, and I was jumping around from job to job. By the time I was 27 years old, I had 27 jobs. And I knew what I didn't want, which was a job. And so I was looking for something else. And I'm so thankful for how I was introduced to this business, because it allowed me to duplicate that process and to become successful fairly quickly. And I want to tell that story. My family and I, we got together for a mastermind over pizza. And when the pizza was gone, my brother Jeff and his wife Cindy, they said, hey, there's something we want to show you. You may or may not be interested. It's only going to take 15 minutes. And they put in a video. And the video was 12 minutes. It didn't tell everything, but just enough. And at the end of that 12 minutes, I looked at my brother Mike and David and their wives, and I was single at the time, and we said, we're in. I want to do it. We want to do it. And this was the moment that I knew that I would be successful in LegalShield. Would y'all like to hear that story? We said to Jeff and Cindy, we're in, we want to do it. What do we do now? And he said, I don't know, I'm not in yet. And we can laugh about it, but that was like the heavens, the clouds opening, the angels singing, because I was a 27-year-old college dropout living in the ghetto. Gosh. Living in the ghetto. No degree, no money, no plan, no confidence, no skills, but I had a dream and I had desire. And I thought to myself, if all I've got to do is show that video, I can do this. I can do this. And he said, there's this guy named Patrick Shaw in Dallas, Texas. He's making about $10,000 a month back then. He can probably help us. And so we went to the live event, right? See the pattern. He showed me a tool, and then he took me to an event, and we met Patrick. And when the briefing was over, I said, I'm in. I want to do it. I'm so in. I'm going to tell everybody about this. And my brother Jeff said, no, don't tell anyone. You know just enough to mess this up. Take this video. And it was an old VHS. Y'all remember those? For the young people in the room, Google it. Google it, VHS. The old VCR. So I got this video, and I went home, and I showed it to 2 people. And the first person said, you're an idiot, and no one's going to want to do this with you. And if you do this, I'm going to lose all respect for you. That was the first response I ever got in my business. And I thought, man, you live in the ghetto with me. I'm not going to listen to you. Like, why should that matter to me? So I went back in the living room and I said to the other guy, what did you like best? And he said, I want it all. I want to do the business with you. I want to join the business. I want the membership. So I got started and I said to him, hear this, who do you know that we can show this video to right now? Right now. And he said, Brian. We went and showed it to Brian. Brian said, y'all doing this? We said, yes. He said, I'm in. He joined us. I thought, I'm going to get so rich, it's redonkulous. I'm I'm like, these are pretty good odds. So we said to Brian, who do you know we can show this video to right now? And he said, Corey. He's not home right now, but you can come back later. We came back later. We showed the video to Corey. Corey said, y'all doing this? We said, yes. He goes, y'all are idiots. I said, okay, fair. Corey, before we leave, what do you do for a living? He goes, you know what I do for a living? Because we were all friends. He goes, I work for the telephone company. I said, what do you do there? I repair the phone lines. Below the ground or above the ground? Both. So you climb 20-foot poles and play with electricity for $10 an hour, and I'm watching videos on a big screen with my friends, and I'm an idiot? You know, come on, man. Think it through. Think it through. What are you doing on Tuesday night? I'll buy you a taco. I bought them 2, right, at Jack in the Crack. And we got him to tacos, 2 for 99 cents. Took him to the briefing. He loved it. He signed up. He introduced me to his brother and went platinum in my business. What I'm here to discuss for the next 12 minutes or so is duplication, and I have to go fast, so y'all keep up, okay? They're called the 8 filters of duplication. Here's our house. Our house in LegalShield looks like this. Does that look familiar? Right? We've got the business to business side of our house. We have the network marketing side of our house. But it's the same house. It's the same house. On the business to business side, can we all agree there's some things that you need to know? Yes or no? Right? You've got to have an ability to have those conversations. And with that, there might need to be some skill set, and with that, there might need to be some confidence and some courage. None of that was part of my makeup. So I gravitated to the network marketing side of the business because I knew that that video worked because it worked for me. And I knew that the business briefing worked because it worked for me. And if it worked for me, it might work for other people. So I took that video and started showing people, and they went to the briefings. And they signed up. And I got them a VHS. And they started sharing it with people, and they signed up. And I can remember talking to Patrick Shaw, some of the leaders back then. They came up to us and said, because our team was exploding in Texas. We're brand new, never had network marketing experience, never done anything like this before, but it's exploding. And they pulled us aside kind of like it was, you know, like it was a secret, and they're like, hey, what are y'all doing? We said, well, we're showing that video, and during the week as many times as we can, and then people that are interested, we bring them to the briefing. And Patrick, I don't know if you remember this, but he goes, guys, what are you really doing? Guys, right? And now we feel like we're in trouble. We're like, we're just showing that video, and we bring them if they're interested to. Guys, what are you really doing? We're like, that's all we're doing, Patrick. Are we in trouble? You know, like we're just showing. And here was our system in those early days, because we didn't know any better. We just did what my brothers and I did to others, what was done to us. Okay, now hear this. 80% of your prospects' training is done before they sign the application. Do you get that? So whatever you're doing to them is what they think the business is. Ducks and geese, when they're born, they're babies, they hatch. There's something called imprinting. Whatever they see, whether it be a human or a duck or a cat or a boat, is their mother. They don't think it's their mother. So if the goose is born and sees you and you're with it every day, all day, you are its mother. It doesn't think, please hear what I'm about to say. It doesn't think that you are its mother. You are its mother. Everybody got this? It's imprinting, and it's very powerful. And the same thing happens to our prospects in this business. Whatever you're doing to them, up to the point you get them to sign up in the business, has been imprinted on them, and they don't think that's how to do LegalShield. They know that's how to do LegalShield. Everybody got it? So if you're doing it wrong, if it's very complex, if you're doing a 1-hour script at Starbucks, they know that that's what they're going to have to do to become successful in the business. So you're really shooting yourself in the foot. We want everybody. Let me show you a video really quickly. Let me pause there and show you this. This is most of us right here.
I can do this. I hate you!
How many of you can relate to that? I mean, if I knew I was gonna have to go to an hour presentation, I'd never pick up the phone because I was so scared. And I wanted this so bad and I needed it. But I knew that all I had to do was show a video. So we've got to go through the 8 filters super fast. How is it possible for people that are largely unskilled, part-time, unskilled, how is it possible for them to become successful? Because of systems and duplication. We've talked about that. Think about this, y'all. When was the last time that you recruited someone that went 3, 4, 5 levels deep without you in a 3 or 4 week period of time? Just think about that. Just think about it. When was the last time an organization went 3, 4, 5 levels deep in 3 weeks without you? That's called duplication. And that's what my brother Jeff Hughes did in his first week in the business, and he didn't know what he was doing. Are y'all seeing how this works? He had no clue what he was doing in the business. He was just showing tools. So your team grows with or without your daily involvement. That's what duplication is. The formula of success in network marketing, please, please, please get this in your notes. The formula for success in network marketing is getting a large group of people to do a few simple things consistently over a long period of time. What are those simple things that they're supposed to be doing? Tools and events. Tools and events. And the 10 core commitments. Y'all, here's the reality. If someone gave me something complex to do, I would not be in this company. I wouldn't be here. I would have quit. Because what the mind of man can conceive and believe, what? If you would have showed me something complex, I would not have been able to conceive of myself doing it. I would not have believed that I could do it, and therefore I would not have done it, and I wouldn't have lasted long in this company. So the 8 filters quickly as we go through. Think about this. You've got a colander, right? You've got spaghetti in a big pot of water. You pour the pot into the colander. The water goes through, the noodles stay inside, right? What we want to do is we want to keep out anything that's going to prevent your organization from duplicating. How do we do that? We pass everything that we do in the recruiting side of our business through these 8 filters. We've got to let all of those activities and ask yourself the question, would this pass through these 8 filters? Okay? Filters 1, 2, and 3 are questions that your prospects are asking themselves consciously or unconsciously. Can I do what you just did to me? Can I do what you just did to me? Number 2 is, do I have time to do what you just did to me? So you've got to be very conscious about, are you using the system or are you using your skill set? Right? Because skill sets don't duplicate on day 1. Do I have time to do what you just did to me? And am I willing to do to my friends, family, neighbors what you just did to me? And if you don't get a yes, 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 you're out already. And y'all, please keep in mind, you may win the battle of getting a recruit if you do what works, but you'll lose the war of duplication if you do what works. We don't focus on what works. If you want a big organization, a giant organization that's going to run away from you, that's going to go 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 levels deep, this is what we do. This is the system and this is the recipe. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Everybody got it? Let's go look at number 4. Number 4 is, can a dud do it to a stud? Can a dud do it to a stud? I go over to my friend's house, he's a multi-millionaire, and I show him the video, and I keep saying to myself, right shoe on the ground, right shoe on the ground, right shoe on the ground. Why was I saying that? Because I had a big hole in my leather, in the soles of my shoes, and I didn't want him to know. I didn't want him to see it. I was a big director in LegalShield, and I show him a video, scared out of my mind. When the video's over, he says, let's do it. And I said, do what? And he said, everything. Everything. Multi-millionaire joined my business. His first year in the business, he did nothing. His second year in the business, he made $200,000 part-time in the business. Part-time in the business. That I was a dud. I looked a little better than this guy, but I was a dud And I was able to get a stud into the business because he wasn't judging the business based upon my lack of success. He judged the business based upon what he saw in the video, okay? Number 5, will this work in depth, 4, 5, 6 levels deep with somebody that I don't even know? See, most people can get 5 people in the business. The question, that's great. The question is, are those 5 getting 5 who are getting 5 who are getting 5? And y'all, this should happen 80 to 90% without us. That's the dream, right? I mean, that's the dream, is to have this happening in the background without us. Number 5, will it work in depth? And will it work with people that I don't know? Number 6, will this work long distance? So sure, you've built a big team in your backyard. I was told if 80% of your business isn't outside of your backyard within your first 2 years, you've got a duplication issue, right? You've got to do, we want this to be able to work all across the country. Number 6. Number 7 is, will this work without me? So whatever you're doing to that new prospect, can they do it without you? And number 8, what makes all this work? 5 minutes later. Can they do what you did to them 5 minutes later? Now, y'all tell me where we get hung up in the system that Jeff and Cindy Hughes taught us, not with their mouth, but through action. They showed me a video. Do I have time to do that? It was 12 minutes. Brian, how long's our video now? 10 minutes, y'all. 10 minutes, a sizzle video. Do we have time to do that? Would you be willing to show a video to friends, family, neighbors? Can you do that? Okay, how many of you have at least one finger or one toe? Show me for proof. Right? If you can push power and you can push play, you can follow this system. And even if you can't, if you can have somebody else push power and push play, you can do this system. So, as I wrap up, y'all, here's the key again. What is it all about? It's like, when I imagine the new person that's here that may not fully comprehend what we're talking, like, okay, duplicate, okay. Look, let's forget this for just a minute. You are God's child. And you were created in His image and in His likeness. And I don't believe that we were created to crawl around on our hands and knees and beg life for a morsel of food. I believe that we were created and designed for greatness and for abundance. My question for you is, forget about this for a second. Are you living every day of your life in your divine design? I woke up in my 20s, almost 30s, and asked myself that question. Did God create me and all of this so I could wait tables at Chili's? No! What this is about, y'all, is so that you can be in your divine design. So that you can free up your time so that you have all the money. You've got an ATM machine that kicks off money into your household every single day. And it's happening with or without you. Part of my divine design is to be a father to my babies. I'm home with my kids almost all the time. I always wanted to be a best-selling author. I wrote a book, my wife and I did, and we became #1 best-selling authors because of this business. We're able to travel and contribute and donate. We tithe more in a month than I used to earn in a month. This is not just about duplication. It's about you, and it's about your dreams, and it's about your life, and it's about your freedom. Go and get your freedom, y'all. Let's buy our freedom back from the bank and be truly free. God bless you all.